Hey guys, Zach here, coming at you with another video. So, this is actually really weird. I've never done this setup before. I'm actually using my laptop to record this video because my tripod kind of is crapped out on me. It's this cheap freaking tripod I got on Amazon like 2 years ago. So, it's officially broken on me. So, I'm gonna have to get a new tripod. I'm gonna have to figure something out. But until then, enjoy this video. Probably crappy quality. You know, only the best of quality on my channel. But today's video is actually going to be talking about the fact that we might get a Nintendo Direct soon. Nintendo Directs always happen in September, but if we've learned anything this year is that Nintendo is being very unpredictable with Nintendo Directs. Given that we usually get a Spring Direct, we didn't get one. We usually get a Direct in January, it's moved to February, so there's a lot of talk about if a Direct is actually coming. People are saying, you know, they're providing their reasoning as to why they think it's coming. And today, I'm going to provide my 2 cents on why I think it might be coming. And I'm going to be saying what I think it's likely... But I'm also going to be saying what it's likely for them to show. Now, this isn't going to be a predictions video. I'm not going to be making wild, out there predictions. That's going to be once the Direct is confirmed. Today is just going to be talking about what they would show and what they would basically have to show, and if there's even going to be Direct at all. So make sure to stay tuned, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all that down below, and let's get started.
ZakPak, he's always there for you. ZakPak, only on YouTube. ZakPak, what will he do next? ZakPak, let's find out, 'cause it's on with the show.
So firstly, I really want to get into, you know, will there be a Direct? What's leaning me to think that there will be a Nintendo Direct? Now, the first thing that we gotta get out of the way is that, you know, there usually always is a Direct in September. Now, I know I always use that excuse, but that's why I'm getting it out of the way, because we really don't know. Nintendo really likes to throw curveballs at us, so maybe we won't get a Direct this month. But September is traditional. We usually get Direct. Early September, mid-September, around there. Last year was the exception, you know, or last year, they changed it to mid-September because of the earthquake that happened in Japan. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw a Nintendo Direct early this month. And, yeah, but there's other reasons why I think we might have a Direct too. I mean, this isn't even anything new. What I'm saying to you guys is old news at this point. I just don't usually like to, report on leaks or rumors or anything like that much, you know, unless it's really credible, unless it's got something interesting in it. But a lot of GameStop SKUs have come up, or stock keeping units, where you know, they have listings on their website, but they don't say what the listings are. A lot of those popped up recently, which means there might be a few announcements, whether they be Nintendo related or not Nintendo, could be third party or whatever, you know, those might come around. There's, of course, the actual real leak of the Overwatch case, Nintendo Switch case, proving that there's probably Overwatch on the Switch, and given that they haven't announced it, they're probably saving it for a Direct. There's always that. They could always drop a trailer on the channel. There's always that possibility, but, you know, they could just be saving that for Nintendo Direct, because that is pretty big news. And lastly, there's also the fact that people are thinking Super Nintendo games might be coming soon with that patent for the Super Nintendo controller thing, because we're approaching 1 year of Nintendo Switch Online, and there's not really much to show for it. So, yeah, so those are the reasons why I think it is very possible to get a Nintendo Direct this month. And now I'm going to be going into what I think it is likely for them to show, and actually, more so, what I think they have to show and what they will show. Firstly, let's get this out of the way, since I already mentioned it. Super Nintendo games for Nintendo Switch Online. This is a need. This is something we need for Nintendo Switch Online. You know, the NES games are getting really stale now. There hasn't really been a good NES game on the Nintendo Online service for a couple months now, you know. It's getting to the point where, you know, we've reached the 1 year anniversary of Nintendo Switch Online, and people's, you know, subscription's gonna run out, you know, and they're gonna ask that question to themselves: is it worth $20 to renew that subscription? You know, they got a year's worth of Smash Online out of it. They got, you know, a year, or actually basically more than a year of Mario Kart, you know, 8 Deluxe Online and Splatoon 2. So, what's incentivizing them to come back, you know, and spend more money to get this, in my opinion, lackluster service that I've been saying since the beginning. You know, I gave into it, I think back in June. I got the service back in like late June, early July, something like that. So, yeah, they definitely have to improve this service. They definitely have to show off SNES games. And I think, personally, they have to show off more than just SNES games. They have to show off an actual good service. You know, introduce party chats, native party chats to the Switch. You know, party systems in general within games, like, you know, in-game lobbies, that kind of thing, where you can start a lobby up with your friends and then your whole party can go into a game. I think there's a problem with, I think, Friday the 13th and some other Nintendo games with that. You know, have that system set up. You know, I don't know why Nintendo's so primitive with their online service. And let's talk about SNES games. SNES games, in my opinion, are now the bare minimum that they have to give us. Bare minimum. They have to at least say, oh, we might be working on more systems in the future, you know, bringing them to you guys. Because Virtual Console was getting stale by the Wii U and the 3DS, admittingly, you know, people weren't as interested because, you know, they've had it since the Wii. But the Switch is a completely different beast since it's a portable console. It's not like the 3DS, it's just like this little tiny thing. You have this big, honking system that plays HD on your television. Like, people want that. People want these old games to be able to take on the go and just to play it on a nice big screen in glorious HD. You know, just having all that works so well. And especially since there are people who bought games back on the 3DS and Wii U. You know, like, the Switch can connect, you know, you can transfer data from the Wii U to the Switch, or from the 3DS to the Switch, like friend codes and all that. So, why can't you transfer game data? You know, on my Wii U, I have Super Metroid, I have Earthbound. Why can't I transfer those games to the Nintendo Switch? You know, like, literally in the menus of the Nintendo Switch, you can transfer data between systems. So why isn't this an option? No clue why Nintendo's not doing it. You know, you should not have to rebuy these games. You should not have to pay a fee for transferring games over. So, I think Nintendo, first of all, I think they should get rid of what they're doing, personally. Just giving us 1 or 2 games each month while integrating online play. I don't know how many people play NES games online, personally. But I don't know many people who play the NES games, period. But nevertheless, they just gotta offer us more. You know, and if they have to raise, you know, like, if they say, okay, here's what we'll do. We'll give you guys the party chat. We'll include cloud saves in every game. You know, if they do stuff like that, you can raise the price. Go for it. If you're going to give us a pristine online experience comparable to the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, then raise the price. Go for it. I don't care. If you could improve stability in playing your games. Mario Maker 2, I heard, was nearly unplayable online the first bit since it was out. You know, like, people could not play it. Same with Smash Brothers. Same with Mario Party. Same with Splatoon 2. Seeing a theme, your online games don't work. They just don't. I hear so many issues of people playing online and just not working because of your peer-to-peer connection bullshit. That's a whole rant for another day. I'm sorry, I really went deep into that, but you know what I mean. Nintendo Switch Online has so much. I really went into a rant on that. I apologize, but Nintendo Switch Online has so much improving it needs. So blow it out in this Nintendo Direct. It's been out for a year. Blow it out. Talk about it, improve it, do something. Let's also get this one out of the way. Luigi's Mansion 3. I think that they're definitely going to show it off. The game's coming out in less than 2 months. They're going to show it off. So, it makes the most sense for them to show off more of the game, right? It makes the most sense for them to show off the actual game. Now, again, they have been doing that, which is one reason why I think they're going to do it. But also, we've seen a lot of, like, let's say, the Portrait Ghosts. You know, we've seen a lot about that, and, you know, like, the new moves Luigi has. But there are certain parts of the gameplay that we haven't seen. We haven't seen Common Ghost variety. We just haven't. We have the 4 main, like, Common Ghosts, but we've only really mainly seen combat with the blue ones. And the occasional, like, you know, of the other 3. You know? So, they're going to show off, I'm presuming they'd show off more of that. The Boos. We haven't seen Boos at all. The Virtual Boo, you know, like the new gadget that EGAD invents. We haven't seen that at all. We've seen, like, the map and the menu system that uses the Virtual Boo. but we haven't seen the actual Virtual Boo itself, or how Luigi carries it, or anything like that, so we definitely are going to see more and more of that. I mean, I'd presume so. The game's coming out in 2 months, we don't know anything about that. They released a new EGAD lab research thingy report on Luigi a couple weeks ago, so maybe we'll learn something new about Luigi. I mean, we know he's also weak to fire, so maybe we'll see that, played out, in this next trailer. Maybe we'll see another Portrait Ghost, but I think we don't need to see much more of the Portrait Ghost, because I personally think that they've shown off enough to make me certain that they've got this. Like, they've got the Portrait Ghost idea down. They've got it. That's fine. But I just want to see more of the core gameplay. Like I always said that the Portrait Ghosts were the main part of the game in Luigi's Mansion, and they are. They still are. But you also do need the good common ghosts, the good variety of common ghosts in the room where you don't fight Portrait Ghosts. They're just other parts of Luigi's Mansion that they need to make sure that they show off. And I'm presuming that they have this information. They just need to show it off. So that's why I'm saying this Nintendo Direct, they would definitely show it off. Legends of the Link's Awakening. That's another one that I think would definitely be there. The game's coming out in a couple weeks. I mean, they need to show it off. I personally am not too excited for it. Personally, the art style is not my cup of tea, and I get it. It doesn't have to be a big, expansive 3D Zelda game. I don't want it to be. We remake it, but I'm just not a fan of the art style. It's too. Everything looks like a toy, plastic. I'm not a fan of that art style. I kind of wish they went for more of a Link Between Worlds kind of art style. But that's neither here nor there. People are excited for this game, so hey, let them be. I'm presuming they'd show off more gameplay. I would hope new content or something new, because it just seems like a one-to-one remake with the addition of that like dungeon maker kind of thing. So it just seems like a one-to-one remake, and for $60 for a remake of a Game Boy game, I don't see it. When you put it next to Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, it just doesn't compare. So they would have to do something to make it worth the $60, and I think new content or just something would be that thing. So I think they'd have to announce new content. Just, new dungeon. I don't know, new side quest, new whatever. I've never played Link's Awakening, so I can't really speak to the fan base on what they should add. But, like I said, make a new dungeon. I know Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy, so this is like the second time they're remaking Link's Awakening. That one added a new dungeon, so just add some new stuff. Some content that would make people who have played the game before and are on the fence, make them okay, this is definitely the definitive version to play, and I get it. The original's on the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color, so that's what's naturally going to be the definitive edition. But if they don't add anything new, that's the whole point of a remake, to expand on what made the original great while adding some new stuff into it to really make it worthwhile. And I'm just not seeing that new substance in Link's Awakening. So hopefully we see some of that in this next Nintendo Direct. Next up is Animal Crossing. I think that one's kind of also obvious, because that one's coming out in March, so it's a few months away, but we don't know that much about it yet. We've seen, obviously the one trailer basically at E3 where they showed off the game. So I think they're going to go more into detail about the online mode, how that's going to work. Can you just visit towns? Can you live in people's towns? How does that work? How the actual game itself works. We all know, obviously, you're going to a deserted island, you're building it up, but do you have help? Are there inhabitants of the island naturally who help you, or do you, earn people's trust and have people come to the island? How does it all work? Yeah, I think that's the kind of stuff they'd show off for Animal Crossing. I don't think they'd go wild with Animal Crossing in this Direct. I think they'd save that for a January, February Direct where they go blow out information. But I definitely think they'd show off more information and new details about Animal Crossing New Horizons. And yeah, I'm personally not that excited for the game, mainly because I'm not an Animal Crossing guy. The game looks great. It actually looks visually really, really good, so I'm very happy with how it looks. But it's just not my kind of game, not my cup of tea. But yeah, I think that's one they definitely show. Next up, and I think really the last main one I wanted to talk about, is Overwatch, because Overwatch obviously kind of got leaked with that whole case thing, and they're not going to make an Overwatch case for the Switch if they weren't gonna bring Overwatch to the Switch. So I think it's likely that we'll see Overwatch at this direct. It's gonna be kind of the big third-party game that's coming to the Switch. I really hope it gets a physical copy because I might be tempted to buy that, but I have Overwatch digitally on my Xbox One, and if it's only digital, I probably wouldn't buy it on the Switch. So I really hope they do a physical edition for the Switch, and maybe I'd buy it. Also, depending on how much it costs, 30 to 40 bucks maybe, not 60. Just how it is. But yeah, Overwatch I also think is pretty likely. Alright, you guys, so thank you so much for watching this video on, the Nintendo Direct that's hopefully coming out this month. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think? Is this Direct likely? I'm actually going to be recording a predictions video right after I'm done recording this one, so that whenever this Direct gets announced, I can publish it as soon as they announce it. So, whenever you see Nintendo tweet saying, oh, there's a Nintendo Direct, expect a video from me seconds, minutes, maybe an hour after. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Until next time, see you guys in the next video.